Hey guys, I'm John Setzler. Welcome back to the Kamado Joe cooking channel. Today we're going to fire up the Big Joe and we're going to make some homemade brioche buns for your hamburgers. So let's get started. Okay, we're going to get started making our dough. In the mixing bowl of my mixer, I've got 1 egg. I'm going to put 1 cup of room temperature water, 1/4 cup of room temperature whole milk, and I'm going to add into that about 2 tablespoons of honey and 1.5 teaspoons of active dry yeast. And I'm just going to mix that all up and get that egg beaten in there, and we're going to let this sit here for about 5 minutes before we move on. Next thing I'm going to do is I've got 3 3/4 cup of bread flour, and I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt to that, and I'm just going to whisk that together where the salt's fairly evenly distributed. And then I'm going to turn my mixer on low with the dough hook, and we're going to incorporate this flour. And we're going to let that mix here for 2 to 3 minutes. And as that comes together, I'm going to add in 2.5 tablespoons of softened butter that I've cut into small pieces. And then we're going to let this continue to knead for another 5 minutes or so. Okay, and after that's been kneading for a while and it's got a nice ball here and it's pulling away from the bowl clean, we're going to stop and take this off the mixer. And we're going to transfer our dough ball into a well-oiled mixing bowl here, and I am going to cover that tightly with plastic wrap, and we're going to let this sit for 1 to 2 hours until that dough ball rises up and at least doubles in size. Okay, we've been going for about 90 minutes here, and as you can see, my dough has a little better probably than doubled up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn that out onto a floured pastry mat here that I'm going to work on. And I'm going to flour my hands a little, and we're just going to roll this out because we're going to divide this into 8 equal pieces. So I want to get it kind of spread out here a little bit. And then I'm going to take my dough knife, cut it in half. Cut each half in half, and then cut each of those in half. And then we're going to form each one of these into a bun. And what I'm going to do, like I said, we're going to keep some flour here. I'm going to kind of roll this up just like we do a little bread loaf. Kind of fold it in under itself. Just like that. And I'm going to do that to all of these. Okay, I've taken each of these and I've set them on a half-sheet baking sheet that I've lined with parchment paper. And what we're going to do is just kind of flatten each one of these out just a little bit. And then I'm going to cover these with a plastic wrap that I've put a little bit of oil on, and we're going to let these rise for another hour to an hour and a half. Okay, while we're letting our dough do its final rise, I have lit a fire in the center of the charcoal pile here in the Big Joe, and I've got my divide and conquer flexible cooking rack in place with the accessory rack in the low position. And I'm going to set both halves of my heat deflector on the accessory rack where it's not in the lowest position, but it's elevated a bit. And then we're going to set both halves of our grill grate in the top position, and we're going to bring the Big Joe up to a temperature between 400 and 425 degrees. And in order to do that, I'm going to leave the bottom vent fully open, and I'm going to close the top vent to about right here between the 2nd and 3rd marks, and we'll watch it as it stabilizes. And if I need to bring the temperature up, I'll open it more, or if I need to cool it down, I will close it more. Okay, I've let these guys rise up, so we're going to take that plastic back off the top, and I've made an egg wash. I've taken 1 egg yolk and added a tablespoon of water, so we're going to baste the top of each of these with this egg wash, and be very careful not to deflate these. And then I'm just going to sprinkle on some of these tuxedo sesame seeds And our Joe's up to temperature, so we're gonna toss these on. Okay, I'm gonna pop the latch on the Big Joe, and we're gonna set this guy right in the middle, and we're gonna give it 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll come back when these are ready. Okay guys, we've been going about 25 minutes here, and I believe these guys are ready. You want to leave these on here until you get this nice golden brown color like that. So we're going to take these off, take them inside, and let them cool. Okay guys, I've taken one of these buns and sliced it up, and I've toasted it a little bit here, and we're going to make us a quick little burger so we can try out this bun. I'm going to put on just a little bit of stone ground mustard, and I've got a nice big fat cheeseburger that we're going to put together on here, and we're going to have a taste. Okay guys, in the moment of truth, these big old buns are absolutely beautiful. If you've never made your own hamburger buns, you got to try it. So let's see how these are. Guys, that's absolutely perfect. That has a beautiful flavor to it. This recipe is a little bit lighter than your traditional brioche recipe. Give this a try. Make a big burger on this, or make a sandwich on it. Let me know what you think. Join us on Facebook, facebook.com/Kamado Joe. Follow us on Twitter @Kamado Joe. And until next time, this is John Setzler with Kamado Joe Cooking Channel.